Well, hi there. Just wanted to share with you an experience that I had recently at a caravan club site in Sutton on Sea. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I went there and I spent about a week or so there just about a week ago now as I make this video. But on the very last evening when I was there, I had an issue actually which was quite distressing, and I hoped that the site warden at the caravan club would take it seriously and do something about it. Here's what happened. So when I arrived at the club, the warden very kindly advised me that there was a walk around the perimeter of the club where I could take the dog, and they gave me a code for a gate at the back where if I go out I can come back in, and so it seemed like a great idea. So each day I would walk my dog, a Labrador, around the perimeter and on other walks, but at least a few times a day I would use that perimeter walk because it just made sense. And then on the very last evening before I checked out the following morning, I was walking down just after reception had closed, and this was around about 10 p.m, something like that. As I walked down the perimeter fence, there's a public footpath, and then there's a fence just to the left of that as you're walking back towards the front of the campsite. Two Doberman pinschers came charging up and barking on the opposite side of this, which is quite a large steel fence. And my dog was sniffing around the side of the path, which was only about a metre wide, just over a metre wide. He then looked up at the dogs. One of them put its muzzle through the gap between the fence posts, the fence lats, and bit him on the nose. Just as I saw that, I pulled him away, so it didn't really get a full hold, but you can see from this photograph how he had been bitten and how his nose was bleeding, and it bled on through that evening. So I went back to the caravan and I just hand wrote a note out because the reception had closed, the wardens were nowhere to be seen, and I simply asked if A, they could tell me who owned that property next door, B, would they please inform the other guests on the site, because here we had a risk, a safety issue, that if other people were walking down that path they also might experience the same issue with these dogs, and could they in future, if they could tell other members that actually this was a risk, this was a safety issue, and if they happen to be walking down the same path, then they need to just be aware to keep an eye out for the dogs on the left hand side and not let their dog go up to the fence. The note went through the letterbox, and the following morning I was taking the dog for a walk past reception, and a short warden, perhaps in his late 40s, early 50s, said to me, I got your note, I have to say we're not liable for that. And I said, well, I wasn't really questioning liability. I was just simply saying, look, here's something that I've experienced. It was unsettling, it's quite disturbing at the time. And if other people are going to be walking down there, other members are going to be walking down there, shouldn't they at least be aware that this is a safety risk, potentially an issue, if something isn't done about it? And he said, well, we just won't recommend that path anymore, but we're not going to warn our existing guests, and we're not going to inform future guests that there's an issue potentially with dogs. So I sort of left the conversation there, carried on walking the dog, and then when I got home, I rang the caravan club. Now, in ringing the club, I would have imagined they would take this seriously, and so I thought, well, I'll ring them, I'll explain what's happened, and a lady answered the phone. I'll just say what her first name was. Her first name was Kirsty, and she took it seriously. She said she was going to report it to the regional manager, and I should expect a call back. But could I just put everything down in an email and send it to a particular email address? So I said, yeah, okay, fine. So I set out that evening, wrote down the whole detail of it in an email, gave them some recommendations about what I thought they should do to keep their members safe, and I sent it off. And of course, looked for this call or an email back. Within a few days, I got an email back. It was a kind of a holding email to say, we've received your email, we've sent it on to some other team, and you should expect a call back from them. But no telephone call from the regional manager. So at that point, I rang back and spoke to another person at the Caravan Club on the helpline. I said I was expecting a call that I'd never received, and she basically said that she would inform the regional manager and I should expect a call the following morning from the regional manager. The following morning, I got a call from a guy called Angel. That's all I'll say his first name was. And he said he was the manager for customer relations and that he would basically inform the regional manager, and didn't seem to have any sense of urgency about the fact that this was potentially a risk that could happen to anyone at this time, and didn't seem to be sort of saying that this would be turned around quickly. So we had quite a detailed call where I sort of pushed him a little bit to say, look, I think this is a significant risk. I think you should be taking it seriously, and I don't think you should be leaving it until next Tuesday, next week, before somebody goes out and investigates it, does a risk assessment. Basically, the call ended on what I thought was a particularly unnecessary tone. He didn't want to really give me anybody's name who might be accountable for managing risk at the Caravan and Motorhome Club. He simply said he would do what he would do, and it would be up to them to make that assessment, and they might not respond to me and tell me what they were going to do about it. So my question now is, just how seriously is the Caravan Club today taking your, if you are a member of the Caravan and Motorhome Club, how seriously are they taking your safety when either using their sites or when using recommended walks that they give you around the perimeter of their sites? And if you give them feedback, what will they do with that feedback? It's a big question mark for me, and I'll be reporting back should I get any more information on this subject, but very disappointing. But that seems to be the way the Caravan and Motorhome Club now are treating their members when they raise a safety concern like this. Thanks for watching this video. Do take care, and I'll update you as soon as I get more information. Bye for now.